Hey there, everyone. So we just had a little introduction to 1-point and 2-point perspective. We drew an imagined hallway, which I'm going to have you guys make one of those just for fun. But now we're going to do it more from observation. And I have these little blocks that I have sitting here. And I'm going to post a picture of these blocks for you to look at so that we can test out something. So what I have is a block in my foreground that I'm going to sketch out. And this is going to be my constant measurement for the rest of my drawing. What is happening with these blocks is that they're all in 1-point perspective to me because I can see the front of them in a flat way. They're right at my perspective. So I'm only going to draw the front of the boxes, and I'm going to measure a little bit to see how much smaller the ones are that I have stacked farther away in the picture plane. I'm going to check and see. So the next box is really only about half the size. I'm going to put it about here. It's just a working drawing, so I'm not so worried if I draw through the points. That way I'm not having kind of wonky directions and so forth. And I'm going to measure the back box, which is a taller box. So it's this plus a little more. It's about here. So I'm trying to stay horizontal to the edge of the picture plane and vertical to the picture plane. Oops, not long enough. Okay, so the first box closest to me is straight on, and these angles here, I'm going to draw all the way out. And I think that's about right. Like when I hold my pencil and I do that angling trick that we worked on, that feels about where they're at. Now I'm going to measure the front and see how tall the back is. Less than half. So about there. Okay. Oh no, that's too high. One out. If I were to make it higher, it would mean that I was looking down on the cube instead of out at the cube quite as much. You can see this isn't quite horizontal. Okay, so the idea here then is that from this front-facing box, this point right here becomes my vanishing point, and because these are also perfectly front-facing, they should line up here too. The difference with these though is that they're not right in front of me. They're off to the left and the right. So that means I'm going to see the sides of them a little bit. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So we're going to go from the corners to this point. This point. Oh, excuse me. Slippery. Here to here. This point. Here to here, this one. So I'm taking all those edges and taking them to my vanishing point. Okay, so now I have to measure again. I'll take the size of this and then see how far back the back of the top goes. It is considerably smaller. So considerably smaller, make it about there. So I'll draw my horizontal across. And then from that, I drop a vertical that's parallel to the edge of my picture plane. And there's my second cube. And that's how I'll find these as well. I'm going to measure here to here to help me find out how far back this top is. And I'm going to actually use this, I think, because that might help me get closer. So it's such a tall box. So it's pretty tiny. I can't see much of it. Here's my horizontal, and then from that horizontal, I drop a vertical. So now, oops, it's not quite vertical. I'm going to do this in marker. I have 3 simple 1-point perspective cubes in space. And you can see as I trace them that each one of those angles comes up to this vanishing point each time. And my verticals and my horizontals are parallel to the edges of my picture plane at this point. When we get into 3-point perspective, that's when the only thing that changes there is that the verticals stop being vertical and they recede in space to a 3rd point. So that means you're looking up at something or down at something. Oops, I kind of got off there. So here we can see how that vanishing point ties everything together. And I keep going back to it. I posted a video about an artist named Brunelleschi from the Renaissance, and he is the gentleman that figured this out. There we go. What's cool about this is that you can hopefully then imagine that this is the basis for everything. This could become the eraser that I draw in space. I could put a cylinder in here, and then that would start to make it so I had the big in front, small in back for the ellipse. I could put a Matchbox car in one of these, like anything, a human figure, the way that it recedes. I guess that'd just be like the torso or just the head or something. But hopefully you can kind of see where it will go. Okay, I'll leave it here. I'm going to have you do one of these and one of the invented hallway drawings, and then we will meet up for 2-point perspective soon. Okay, bye.